HOA would be dissolved, its assets transferred to a public trust pending full investigation. All citations issued under Karen's presidency were void. Victims of extortion would be reimbursed through a restitution program created with the seized funds. The room finally broke into applause. Quiet at first, then thunderous. But Denning didn't stand. He left before the room cleared, slipping out a side door like a rat dodging daylight. Margot caught up with me in the hallway. "He's already filing appeals," she said. "We expected that. He's also reaching out to smaller boards," she added. "Trying to rally them. Paint this as a government overreach." I smiled. "Let him try. We're not stopping." The rest of the week blurred into paperwork, interviews, and debriefings. I barely had time to return to the cabin, but when I finally did, it felt different. Lighter. The guilt, the frustration, the endless feeling of being one step behind, it had thinned. The fight wasn't over, but I wasn't fighting blind anymore. There were others now. Homeowners who had once been scared were organizing. New leaders were stepping up. Young couples, retirees, war veterans. They weren't waiting for permission anymore. They were demanding fairness. The new Pine Ridge Advisory Council met for the first time on a Wednesday. No titles, no hierarchy. Just a circle of residents and a rotating speaker system. I didn't attend officially. I wasn't a homeowner there anymore, just an observer. But they asked me to say a few words. I declined. They didn't need me to speak. They needed to speak for themselves. And they did. About safety, about shared resources, about fairness and respect. Not one person mentioned Karen. Not one person talked about fines. They talked about their kids, their gardens, their neighbors. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that mattered more. Back at the regional office, the task force was growing. I brought on 5 new auditors, 2 investigators, and a part-time analyst just to handle historical citation review. Each of them had stories, reasons for joining. One had lost her family home after her mother was tricked into signing a foreclosure clause buried in fake HOA language. Another had been fined repeatedly for parking her father's old truck on a gravel driveway in a rural town. None of them were here for a paycheck. They were here to tear out the rot. But the network wasn't gone. Not yet. Pockets still operated quietly, slipping through legal gaps, forming under new names. Some just changed acronyms. HAC, NPRB, CAB. It didn't matter what they called themselves. If they abused authority, they were next. And now we had teeth. Every time they sent a threat, we sent a subpoena. Every time they tried to rewrite bylaws behind closed doors, we showed up with cameras and court orders. One day, Margot tossed a newspaper onto my desk. The headline read, "Former HOA President Sentenced in Statewide Crackdown." It wasn't Karen. It was a man from the coast who had quietly bled residents dry for years. But it was a start. She leaned over the desk and said, "You know what people are calling you now?" I raised an eyebrow. "The HOA Reaper." I laughed, the first genuine laugh in weeks. "I'm not here to reap. I'm here to remind people that home should never be something you're afraid to go back to." That evening, as the sun fell over the ridge, I sat on the cabin steps and looked out over the valley. Somewhere out there, Karen was probably still seething. Denning was probably plotting. Others would rise. But I had a clipboard of my own now. One that held deeds and charters and laws. And behind it, I had something stronger than any fake violation or power-drunk president could threaten. I had people who'd finally had enough. Neighbors who were ready to speak. An estate that was finally listening.